idea of an epidemiologist of what. So this is, are you ready to say this? Epidemiology.
Epidemiology.
Yeah, epidemiology. So you see a word here, epidemic.
Oh, epidemic.
Epidemic, we've heard that before. Do you know what an epidemic is?
It's like popular,
Popular.
More popular epidemic disease
Spread
in
fast.
Africa.
Spreads fast.
Oh.
Brazil just had an epidemic
Okay.
of what kind of disease?
The last one was, Zika.
Zika, right. There is an epidemic of Zika, the Zika virus. So cardiovascular.
Disease.
Let's try saying it just a little more slowly.
Disease.
So let's all put it together. Cardiovascular disease.
Cardiovascular disease.
Yay, very good.
Cardiovascular disease, heart disease and stroke, cancer and diabetes are among the most prevalent, costly and preventable of all health conditions.
Yes.
And out of every 10 Americans who die each year, or more than 1.7 million people die, I have no idea, chronic disease, actually over.
Not over. This one is deceptively simple.
Of
Also, why did they die? What did they die of? A chronic disease.
the prolonged illness and disability from, I had put ever, but now I will change it for many.
Okay, good. Nice correction. You know, I like how you explain that. So yeah, you first had every, but we're not talking about every chronic disease, right?
Mm-hmm.
That would include 100% of the chronic diseases. Just many. Okay, read on.
Prolonged illness and disability from many chronic diseases as diabetes, cancer,
Arthritis.
and dementia means long-term pain and suffering for many people.
Non-life.
Bad living. Poor
What?
living.
What is the word for more poor, more bad?
Worse of living.
Worse.
Worse
That's
of
right.
living.
The problem is the chronic disease affect Americans' quality of life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, all of these behaviors and chronic diseases are making our quality of life worse. Preventable.
You can treat
Can
them.
I avoid?
You can avoid it. That's right. Those are diseases, when we talk about preventable diseases, these are sickness that does not have to happen. So there's some sickness that's very hard to control. Some infections, for instance. If you live, you talked about diarrhea, so if you live somewhere where it's very hard to get good, clean drinking water, maybe you cannot prevent some of the diseases that you would get. If your food system is not very well controlled, then it might be really hard to prevent certain parasite infections on your own. I'll give another example. Tuberculosis. That's a disease that was very hard to prevent. So how's tuberculosis spread? Coughing. It's very hard to control whether you're in a room with someone who's coughing or not. We live in a public world, so we can't always control that. So, but we talked about heart disease. Is heart disease preventable?
Yeah.
Most cases are. diabetes?
Except for type 1.
Yeah.
See, good, exactly. So type 2 is mostly preventable. Type 1 that you're born with, that you get as a child, that might not be so preventable.
More common nowadays.
Well, I know one that's more common in China,
Which one?
hepatitis B.
Ah, hepatitis B.
Yeah, that's
What do you cause hepatitis B, teacher?
so hepatitis B is spread just like HIV.
And
Oh.
there's no
other-
vaccination for
So
hepatitis B.
there is vaccination for